There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
What's up, and welcome into episode number 171 of the Program Guys podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you, as always, by Matt Gann, Patrick Ertzberger, Mark Hall. Today is Thursday, April 17th. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Find us on all of our social media at Program Guys with a Z on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. That's where you can find us. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, and if you are, that's the right decision. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, that's the right decision too. But on YouTube specifically, you will notice Patrick and Matt in the same screen. They are together once again for the weekly pilgrimage for Matt Gann to head out
Yearly. It's not. He wishes it was weekly.
Oh, did I say weekly? I'm sorry. Annual. Yeah. The annual pilgrimage.
Annual week-long, much like you see in religious entities, organizations.
Yes.
Matt has to go see his guru for at least a week, once a year, and it's Patrick.
Here we are, killing it in Cali. Prepare for trouble, make it double, to protect the world from devastation, to unite all peoples within our nation, to denounce the evils of truth and love, to extend the reach to the stars above. Patrick, Matt, Team Rocket, blast off. That's what I'm saying.
All right. You got to lean in to speak. I don't know why you thought it would work while you're behind Patrick.
I'm just happy to be here.
He didn't lean in at all. I'm going to cry.
He can't lean. Matt's broken. Matt's broken currently.
Matt, let's talk about the neck.
Yeah, we got to get it out.
Let's just get it out. You can't lean because your neck hurts. What's up with your neck? What happened?
I think I slept wrong. I'm currently very stiff. I can barely move.
So would you blame the bed you slept on for free, or would you blame the way that you slept? Asking for a friend.
The way I slept.
Got it. Okay.
Wow.
Gotcha.
People would say, Mark and Mason have also slept in the same bed. No neck problems.
I did not. Slept like a baby.
Yeah. Good neck after that.
Just a hue problem. Just a hue problem.
It is. It is. Much like a lot of things, but it's okay.
Like there's a number of those.
I'm happy. I'm happy you're here, Matt Gann. Happy you guys get to hang out together. That's super fun. But we have a show to get to, and we got a lot to get to because there's some big things to get to. Do we want to talk spring game first, or not even spring game, whatever the hell they want to call it?
Crimson Combine.
Which is also, before we start.
Oh boy.
I sent this to you guys, and I wanted to address it because some tweet went viral on like OSU Twitter or whatever, and it was like, OSU's selling out the stadium in the spring. Guess OU can't do that. And it's side-by-side pictures of the Turnpike Troubadours concert at Boone Pickens Stadium, and then a picture of the Crimson Combine with 5,000 people there, whatever it is. If you genuinely are claiming those to be equal events or same things, it's absolutely absurd. It's crazy. That's an awesome event that OSU got to do and got to host. Let it be a standalone thing. Why are you making it an OU versus OSU thing? It's not. It's a concert. It's a concert for two bands that are beloved in the state of Oklahoma. One of them hasn't released an album in 10 years. And people are trying to go see them. It's just so goofy to me how people compare those, because everyone who has a pulse and is related to OU at all knows that event was going to be a dud from the moment it was announced. I'm done now.
It's like posting a picture of Norman Music Festival on Main Street and then Main Street in Stillwater on a Tuesday and saying, man, wouldn't you rather be at OU? But that's not really the case you're making isn't the reason. No. You can love your concert series. I think it's a cool thing that they did. Maybe don't overcharge people when they've already left. That's not good. Seems like that happened a little bit here and there. But it's over, man.
Yeah.
You lost this war.
Yeah.
It's dead over. Maybe you grew up loving Oklahoma State. Maybe you're going to get to play a sport there. That's all awesome if those are the reasons you chose that thing. But on the football level, you'd rather be here. You'd rather be us. Just would. Maybe if Mike Gundy was still top of the Big 12, you wouldn't, but that's not the world we're in, man.
No.
Couldn't agree more.
Goofballs.
There's no point to this.
No, there's Matt, what are your thoughts on the Crimson Combine? Let's start with you. What are your thoughts on how everything went? I honestly didn't consume a single piece of content from that besides like seeing pictures of things posted. I didn't watch like videos or anything like that.
Yeah, from my inside sources, people who actually lived there and attended, seemed like more of just kind of an event for families to come out and see players in person. A lot of players were signing autographs before they started doing drills, but it seemed like more of a family fun event versus any real football savants action going on. So it just doesn't have the same feel as a spring game, getting you excited for the upcoming season. So I think they're going to have to navigate on how to make it a better fan experience, because it's definitely felt more family oriented and just not the same feel that you typically get during the spring game vibe. So I know they'll continue to make tweaks, but definitely not the turnout or I think anyone really planned what that event was going to be or feel like.
It was dumb as hell. It's dumb as hell. Like it's you can do this, but this is not a substitute for a spring game.
It's not. They essentially do this event in the summer. They do it in like August or July. They have everyone come through the stadium and get autographs and meet players and do all of that. You can still do that, but to act like this is agree, Mark. If this is not a substitute for a spring game, it's not.
All this had was 1-on-1 drills and 7-on-7 stuff, in addition to the normal thing that you get for that, I'm sure, One Oklahoma sponsored program in the summer, right? Like, just let us come to practices at that point.
Yeah.
Let us come to practices, no pictures, no phones, whatever. I don't care. The Masters does it. You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And let people watch the team throughout the spring if the entire draw of this is going to be watch them do 1-on-1s and 7-on-7 half line. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine. Patrick, anything to add?
Yeah, the only thing that really came out of it was we got to hear from some of the coaches, which was fine. And on that, I listened to the entire Brent Venables interview, and it felt different. It was like a different vibe. It felt like a different Brent, in my opinion. Usually gets up there and he starts talking, right? I think it was pretty much immediately into questions. Felt like he wasn't excited to hear a lot of the questions. A lot of them felt maybe repetitive to him, but it didn't feel chipper. Didn't feel like Brent. Obviously dove into the defense more than he did the offense. Didn't have great answers when asked about the offense in my mind either. Just that was my take on Brent's interview.
He's gotten more succinct in his answers here and there. He's learning to play the head coach game a little bit better. He doesn't have time for an hour-long press conference most of the time anymore. That's not happening these days. And that's probably a good thing. I love hearing from Brent. I think he talks about football the way you want your head coach to talk about football. He says all the right things about every single guy, every single time. Time to win some games.
Yeah, I agree, Mark. I think it was like when he first started, his first couple years, he's trying to like get people to like him in a weird way. Like we already like you. We already like you. And now it's to the point where it's just like, okay, we like you, but we like winning more. So do that instead. And I think I think that's clicking. You know, I mean, we've beaten it to death. There's no doubt that he feels the pressure. There's no doubt that he feels the heat on his seat, all of that. And you can tell with the transfer portal acquisitions that they're in an all or nothing year. Like they got to do something this year or else heads are rolling.
And they're doing it. to their credit, you go and you try to get Jim Knowles. That would have been the highest paid defensive coordinator in football. Doesn't work out. So you call the plays yourself, bring in Wes Goodwin. You go out and get probably the best offensive coordinator on the market. I don't want to speak out of turn, so if I'm forgetting people, tell me, but at least the highest regarded young star, up and coming kind of guy. And we already got John Maater. We got Jovannie Gibson. That we'll see about that. One thing that we did learn from the Crimson Combine is that there is a chance he's going to be ready for the start of the season. Had broken leg surgery. And I almost think we don't need you for Illinois State. And I'm not sure if it's your first game back, you should even come back for Michigan week 2. That seems like they should target the Temple game maybe and see if he looks right for Auburn coming in week 4. I was looking at the schedule this week, and that just seems much more, if you're going to slow play it, that's how you slow play it. That's what you do.
Yeah. I want him looking good during warmups, as coach would say during Michigan.
Yeah, I agree with that. He had a quote about the offensive line. This would be the best offensive line group as a whole. I sure hope so.
Was that him saying in his tenure that he's been
I assume
here?
so. I assume so.
It seems like maybe the Walter Rouse year could have been better, but that's encouraging to hear. He wasn't saying that previously.
No.
And just in case you think we're drinking too much Kool-Aid on the coach speak, Ben Arbuckle also said the tight end room grew the most from beginning to end of spring ball. And I'll be let down if we don't go and find a body to add to that room.
Right.
Always easiest to be most improved if you're the worst. That's all I take from it.
Great point.
Yeah.
Point, partner.
Shut the hell up, Matt.
God.
Okay. Transfer portal news. Let's get to the transfer portal news because we had some big news. OTTTOGO. We have Jaydn Ott to go.
Whoa.
Yeah, that sounds great. So the running back from Cal heading to Norman. It's official. Like they already announced it via official OU pages. Don't really know anything about his, NIL, whatever all that is. No idea. But that's a good get. I see pundits already ranking him as the best running back in the SEC ahead of Caden Durham.
From CBS. Yep.
Yeah, that's
Real
a good
people,
get.
not
a great
OU
get.
people.
No, not OU people at all. That's a great get. I hope the offensive line is worth a piss and can block for him. Truly.
I think OU.
Matt?
Yeah, I think OU nabbed the number 1 QB in the portal and now the number 1 RB in the portal, which is exactly what this offense needed to get a jump start because of where the offense was last year. These are 2 critical pieces where the offense can really make some moves. And so to have a guy like this who obviously had an injury ravaged 2024, but had over 1,300 yards, almost 200 receptions, over 10 plus touchdowns, both receiving and rushing. This guy's got that top end speed to take our running back room over the top. When there was some uncertainty with how the running back room is going to shake out, I think he's the clear number 1. I think X should be right behind him and then maybe mix in some of those other guys. But I think he now just takes our offense to a whole nother level. He's really going to fit into this Ben Arbuckle scheme. So really excited for him. It's just, can the offensive line create gaps and holes for this guy to go? Because based on all the highlights I've seen, man, he's got a gap and he's gone.
Yeah, go Pat. Go
No,
Pat.
you go.
I like it a lot. Beyond just the speed that he runs decisively. When he makes a cut, he's cutting upfield fast. He's making every move at full speed, unless he needs to decelerate to leave a guy in the dust, and he's very good at that too. It's something between the speed, which Taylor Tatum has, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Taylor Tatum run fast,
Yeah.
but then the ability to run naturally and set up your blocks, set up defenders. Those are skills that Jaydn Ott has that we just haven't seen yet out of Taylor Tatum, who I think is the closest 1-to-1 with Jaydn Ott in our current offensive backfield. I think that it really sets us up nicely to not have to lean on the elder statesman in the room in Gavin Sawchuk, Javante Barnes, as heavily as we were going to, even talking about it 2 weeks ago. We you just know the way they're going to run this is the old guys are going to get first run. Now the old guy has actually done some stuff. I'm a little concerned about all the injuries in 2024. That doesn't just go away, right? But the 2023 stats look good. All of the highlights that you see look good. He's a better runner than what we know we have in the backfield so far.
Right. Matt, anything to add?
I think I'm
Pat, sorry.
cautiously, yeah, no, you're good. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think the injuries there is what's making me more cautiously optimistic, as well as a lot of the highlights I'm seeing are against Alex Grinch, USC defenses, Texas Tech defenses, UNT defenses, etc. So I think this guy's a great ad overall, and I'm really happy about it. It was definitely something Nagy needed to do. However, we'll just have to see if it plays out. It's still a question mark for me. I'm not as hyped as other people, I don't think.
I'm fired up about it. You know, Sam Franklin's obviously on the way out. He announced he's in the portal. So he's gone. Thank you for your service.
Be surprised if that's the last one. I'd be surprised if that's the
I would too. Honestly,
room.
You mentioned Gavin Sawchuk, Javante Barnes. Those seem like a logical one of those two exits to me. I wouldn't be shocked. I think Taylor Tatum stays around. I think they, especially in college, I don't really know. I didn't watch enough of, Ben Arbuckle's like running game. I was just more impressed with John Maater. But how much running back rotation they have or plan on doing. Because if you're splitting 50-50, if I'm Taylor Tatum, I'm cool with that. Like I'm fine. I'm not too upset. But again, I'm not Taylor Tatum, so I don't know how he feels about that. But in terms of Jaydn Ott, yeah, the injury concerns get you, especially coming off the year that we just came off of. I think if we all haven't been burned like we were last year on the injury front, I think we'd all feel a little better. I think we're all a little gun shy here, and that's okay. I think he's a really good running back. I think he's very talented, and he's a great addition and going to add a lot to this football team.
I'll just say it. I think it should be Gavin. If they process anyone, you process Gavin, process his brother Gabe, and you keep it moving. Go try and find a stud class of 2026 guy to help those numbers out soon, including Jonathan Hatton, who we saw reports this week they're not giving up on. We'll see if it does anything, if it goes anywhere, but he hasn't shut down the possibility of taking another visit to Oklahoma. And so, you get one more body, try and replace what Gabe was gonna be possibly. I know it's a year later, but you've already brought in Ott. This might be good churn. This might just be good churn at this point.
A guy coming in blocking for Jaydn Ott is going to be Jake Maikkula. Jake Maikkula, 6'5", 295, interior offensive lineman from Stanford. Going to be good to have another big body around on the offensive line. Started, I think, 13 games last year for
16.
Stanford.
16 over 2 seasons.
Okay, 16 over 2 seasons.
Those are spread between both guard spots and the center spot. This is basically Troy Everett coming in. He can play any of those places, and you hope he doesn't start. But if he starts or if he plays, you trust what he's going to bring, I think.
Yeah. A good depth piece, and you can't – we saw with Oklahoma, you can't have enough depth pieces right now with all of the injuries that they sustained last year. Matt?
We talked about this a few weeks ago when there was rumors or the portal news coming into play. I think I just love the versatility to be able to plug and play, especially with the injuries that we've had. So good addition. I think Jim Nagy's doing everything he needs to solidify the pieces, and I don't think he's done. I think he's only getting started. I think there's a few more positions that he can shore up on, whether that's tight end, wide receiver, some of these other positions that need to add depth with some of the reports that we've seen. So adding Ott and the guy from Stanford. I don't think it's done.
Maikkula.
Maikkula. Maikkula.
Huge
Matt?
ad. Huge
Are
ad.
you good?
No more notes.
No more notes? Okay. The transfers leaving Oklahoma. Peter Shue, Michael Patterson McDonald, Jocelyn Malaska, Devon Mitchell, Sam Franklin. Those are the guys that are leaving Norman. Wish them all the best of luck. That's just what we know as of right now on Wednesday, April 16th at 7:00 p.m. That's
Right.
all we know as of right now.
I expect that number to grow.
I do as well.
Yeah, I expect that number to grow.
Yeah, I feel like it has to.
I'm if we're just gonna talk about guys who might be leaving, I'm cautiously optimistic since we haven't seen Jaydn Gibson's number or name in that list. I'm gonna be holding out on Jaydn Gibson until the day I die. He's gonna be 35 and done playing football, and I'll be saying, man, if he was just healthy that year.
Yeah.
I believe in him so hard. So hopefully he's the guy who sticks around. Maybe it doesn't even happen next year, but be Jaron Canick for your class. Stick around, man.
Yeah, dude. For real. Be the glue guy. Be the glue guy for sure. Devon Mitchell sucks. Not he sucks. Him leaving sucks. Sorry, that phrasing. That's not ideal. My bad.
Jesus.
Nobody clipped that. But yeah, other than Devon, I mean, yeah.
It was good when we got Michael Patterson McDonald. That was a win.
Yeah.
That was a win. But it seems like the safety room has evolved such that he's not really going to play a major part in it.
Yeah.
He should go somewhere where he can get more snaps. That's
Right.
normal stuff.
Completely agree.
I think out of anyone here, I think I'm most upset about Michael Patterson McDonald just because I could have seen him being like that 4th-year senior who started.
Definitely.
And, and that's just like something you want in the future, but understand why he's leaving.
Completely get it. Are there any positions you think we need to add in the transfer portal, boys? Are there any names out there you want to jump in on? Not named Nico Iamaleavas. Oh God, I can't even remember how to say his name.
Iamaleavas.
Yeah,
Pat's got experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to UCLA now anyway. But go ahead.
Right. For me,
Is
it's
that locked in?
I think he's pretty close.
It's locked in.
Insider.
Oh, Pat knows. Insider.
Everyone's reporting it.
Volunteer P.
Everyone's reporting it. Sorry,
Yep.
that's what it sounded like.
On 3 has learned. On 3 has learned.
Yeah. Oh my God. Go ahead, Patrick. I'm sorry.
I would like us to go for another wide receiver, especially just with the injury-prone room. Jovannie going down now. I think we need another guy to fill that spot just in case he doesn't make it back as the same guy he was last season. I would hopefully maybe even get 1 or 2. Get kind of like a long shot, maybe like that Oklahoma OCU guy, just UCO guy.
Terrell Davis.
Because, he would probably love to play for Oklahoma, and then one of the best portal gets you can get.
Here's my thing with like wide receiver, and this is kind of my take about wide receivers in the transfer portal and coming out of high school. I don't necessarily need production. I just need you to be a dude. I need you to be, a big, fast dude, and we'll figure the rest out. We'll figure the rest out. You don't know how to run routes crisply? That's fine. We can teach you. You don't know how to read his own defense, whatever. We'll teach you. Give me the big and fast dudes first, and then I'll figure everything else out later. That's kind of where I'm at with that. Because I feel like that's how Alabama and Georgia, the guys who in Ohio State who turn out wide receivers, they just get the most athletic dudes possible. And then they're like, yeah, we'll figure it out. That's what I want.
I don't know who added him to the outline, so I don't want to step on anyone. There you go, Pat.
Matt, put your hand up.
There's a report that came out today that we've been in contact with Xavier Loyd, a 6'2", 195-pound receiver out of Iowa State or Illinois State.
Illinois State.
My apologies. Thanks, Matt. Really helpful addition there. And He seems to me like such a Jim Nagy guy, like someone that Jim has been watching for possible
Yeah.
Senior Bowl status for like 2 years now. He's a junior, or he was a junior last season, going to be coming up on his senior year. I don't know anything about him, but if Jim Nagy gives him that stamp of approval, I'm in on it. And I don't, we'll see what that really means when it comes to the fall, but that feels more like a Nagy opportunistic find than even Jaydn Ott and Jake Maikkula do, because you're digging deep to find that person. The same way we did with these tight ends that are in the house right now, or that are in-house right now. That seems like a Jim Nagy possibility to me.
Or
Ooh.
Brent Venables is already watching Illinois State film and is like, hey, that wide receiver looks pretty good.
Okay. Very possible. Or it's actually going to be Trajan Bridges, guys.
Dude.
Back in the portal.
That would be wild.
Who started ball at Oklahoma when Jaden Hazelwood did. That dude's been out of college football for 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah. 2, I think.
Football's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Eligibility's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. Can you imagine Trajan Bridges coming back after all of that?
I can imagine anything now.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
but I'll say another name that we've seen, and Sooner fans will remember it. Keon Brown went the JUCO route after being academically ineligible, and that's one I'd welcome into the fold. Yeah. Younger guy, you've already recruited him, you've already scouted him. That's one I'd be into.
For sure.
That's a cornerback.
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
Who was the cornerback that was also entering the transfer portal from a small school? I think we put it on the Twitter page. Pretty sure. I'll have to go back, but I think he went the JUCO route too after not making grades or something like that. I'll look back.
Check us out.
DJ Graham?
Maybe. I regress.
I don't know. Regardless, anything else on the transfer portal before we move on to some other news?
Only other thing is Jim Nagy, right? I think he's definitely influenced this decision making, and he's been a great asset so far. These are two guys we really had to get, two positions we really needed to improve, and he did it basically on day one, before day one, right? Today was day one. He did it last week.
Yeah,
there's a tight end from Wisconsin who just hit the portal after joining in the spring. Had a season at Ball State last year. Caught 894 yards worth of receiving and had like 5 touchdowns. Similarly, there's a guy at a Cal that just hit the portal, 6'4", 240. I want to say that has experience actually playing ball, catching the football, doing those things. I'd be interested to see how involved we get with the tight ends in the portal.
Would like to see some tight ends.
Welcome that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, other football news. We have Jadon O'Neal visiting Florida State. Again, just you're not committed. You're not committed. So you can't be mad that you go out and get commits from another quarterback because you're not committed, bro. You're not. And it's okay. It's okay, but you're just not. You're not committed.
I'm not upset by this point. Obviously, that's why we're going after other QBs in the class. So seems like if he comes back, sure. But I think Jim Nagy and staff are looking elsewhere and other opportunities at this point.
It's been the writing on the wall since Bo Bentley started showing interest in Oklahoma, really since the Ben Arbuckle hire. It seems like Arbuckle prefers Bentley over O'Neal, and they're going to let O'Neal play his process out, but it seems like we're full speed ahead with Bo Bentley. Just got to hope they both don't end up at Georgia.
Great point, Mark. Great point.
Yeah, very good point.
Thanks, Matt.
The homecoming game is going to be against Ole Miss on October 25th. The days of making homecoming Iowa State are over. Or making it Kansas. Those days are done. So just you're not going to get Vanderbilt every year to try to make that work. So yeah, I just don't get it.
Hope the seniors can find some playing time before that game, is what I'd say.
Yeah.
I don't know that you're gonna get a lot of snaps.
No, I don't think so either.
The true homecoming game is Auburn, because
Really?
Jackson Arnold's coming back to town, and I
Dude.
think we've determined the quote was real. The quote from this week where he's complaining about, I won 3 games and then had a bad first half against Tennessee, and then I get benched. Buddy, there's a lot of context missing there.
Yeah.
There's
Lincoln
a lot
Riley,
of context missing
Lincoln
there.
Riley ass answer. You guys remember that when Oklahoma was 7-0 or whatever it was, but they looked like dog water and everybody knew they looked bad, and Lincoln Riley was telling everybody to shut up because, like, no, it's fine, we're undefeated. I don't know why everybody's freaking out. Like, you win the games. Yeah, but you didn't look good. Yeah, but you didn't look good at all. And anyone with any football acumen knew that. It's the same thing with Jackson Arnold. It's the exact same thing. And look, I'm rooting for the kid. I don't want him to suck. I don't want him to be a bum. Like, I'd like for him to go play good as long as he's not playing Oklahoma. I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't. He's not even the favorite to win the Auburn job. He transferred there. He's not even going to start, maybe. There's reports of the other guy looking better in camp.
Freshman Deuce Knight looks good, apparently.
Yeah.
This is the real answer. At Oklahoma, I had to deal with multiple coaches, didn't always have the right guidance, but I'm ready to bounce back to my potential. That is like the real answer there. But I understand he's telling himself more to feel better.
Agreed.
Everyone's the protagonist in their own story.
Right.
So if you're Jackson Arnold,
That's a good point.
You're the superhero of your own journey, and that's cool. I get it, but I think a little bit more looking in the mirror would help the kid.
There's football people.
And to your point, Mason, that guy, he was a Sooner. He wanted to be a Sooner. He wanted it to work out. He enrolled early. He recruited guys. We don't have Peyton Bowen without Jackson Arnold. Who knows what goes on with Peyton Bowen? That could be a whole thing. He's not. We'll see. But it was big that we got Jackson, and it was big how bought in Jackson was. Circumstances happened, and I wish him all the best. But I agree, man. You gotta. We'll see how it goes. You should focus on yourself at Auburn now.
Yeah, I mean, there's football people whose opinion I really respect that I saw like tweet some absolute nonsense about Jackson Arnold this week, basically saying like, yeah, he's right. They were 3-0. They looked fine. And I'm like, did you watch the games like at all? At all. What was his stat line against Tennessee? Something absurd. They had to yank him because he turned the ball over 4 times. And that was before, and that was after he looked mid. Mark, you had a good point. He had like 3 good passes in the 3 games that he played.
I've got one. The one incredible throw he made to Jaleel Farouk, stepping up in the pocket to his right. He's getting hit as it kind of comes in, and he just lays it in there perfectly. That's what Jackson Arnold should have been, and he just wasn't that often enough. Maybe he will be for Auburn, but there's got to be some ownership of that.
Yeah. Anything else?
Matt, give us all of your Jackson Arnold takes.
Oh, yeah, I want them all.
I was wrong at the beginning. I thought he would be the guy to save OU football and Brent Venables' job, and I was completely wrong about it. And all good luck to him in Auburn, and I hope we smash him into bits if he is a starter by the time he comes to Norman, because that's going to be a rude awakening when he enters Norman, Oklahoma for the SEC opener. I'm sure he's going to see a lot of boo birds. And
He won't be.
I hope he starts.
Hopefully it's a hostile environment for that first game.
I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna come in injury relief. I think OU's gonna get a ton of pressure and injure the quarterback, and then Jackson's gonna come in.
Mason's like, I think Sammy Mwasigo is gonna knock the shit out of whoever starts, so they can see Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna be like, finally, here you are. Circle the wagons time. Matt Gann got a lot to get to. Are we going to circle? Are we circling?
Yeah, I'll do some quick
Okay.
main sports here. So I'll start with softball. 36-5, 10-5, but did lose their series to Alabama, winning the first game, but then losing 2 in a row, where they lost the last game 2-1 in extra innings. I believe I saw Patty was in an in-game interview. He was either doing the second or third game, really calling out her team. I think they were being interviewed by the ESPN commentators midway through, and really citing the lack of energy and effort she was seeing from her team. And I think that really showed in those last 2 games. And again, OU is really struggling to find a pitcher outside of Sam Landry at this point. It's a lot of pressure on her shoulders to win every single game and to continue to play quite a bit in these SEC series. And it's just not working out, just not consistent enough, either on the bats or the pitching so far. So they'll need to look to rebound against their next series, I believe against Mississippi State. That will actually take part in Oklahoma City, softball capital of the world, before they do their 3-game series in Love's Field against red rival Lady Longhorns here in a few weeks. So hopefully they can continue to play better. Baseball finally getting on track. They won 2 out of 3 against Vanderbilt recently this week, and they are now 500, I believe, in the SEC play. So finally starting to hopefully turn it around. Had some big bats. They had double digits, I believe, in 2 out of the 3 games, 9-4 and 14-0, which they run ruled before losing the second game. But then they did have a little bedlam rivalry on Tuesday night, playing Oklahoma State in Stillwater, beating them 11-1 in 8 innings, run ruling the Oklahoma State Cowboys at their home field. So that is a little bit of home cooking there. And they will take on a 3-game series against Missouri in Missouri this weekend. So good luck to the boys. OU women's gymnastic is going to the NCAA championships in Fort Worth, Texas. They are going, looks like, for their 7th national title. They will take on number 3 Florida, number 7 Missouri, and number 11 Alabama in the semis. If they get through the first couple of days, they will go on to championship weekend here in the next few days. Couple more updates on men's tennis, who are playing a little bit better, but 15-9 and 7-7 overall. They have a couple of wins, but they are currently in the SEC championship, where they won the first round against, let me get it pulled up, LSU 4-1, and they will be taking on the University of Georgia actually today if you're listening to it. So good luck to them as they compete in the SEC championship. OU women's tennis, 18-5, 11-4 in conference play. I believe they had just also started SEC play, getting it pulled up here. Let's see.
Pat, what the hell are you doing, man? What's going on?
Got everything on my phone. And
no, Pat, what are you doing, man?
I was just stretching.
Yeah, he's just stretching. Recently beat Alabama 4-2, and we are actually starting SEC women's tournament play this weekend. They will either play LSU or Kentucky. So a lot of these programs in the postseason. Good luck to OU women's gym and to all these programs in SEC play. That is a quick circle the wagon updates. What do you guys think about women's gymnastics? Can they beat LSU, the reigning national champions, who have already beat them twice in the regular season?
It's hard to pick against Livy Dunn always.
Sure
that's my take on things.
Yeah, and
We
she's
should win.
The best MLB pitcher in all of the MLB. You know,
is he really the best?
Did
Did y'all see that slider he threw? It
Yeah.
was like
Right there with
82
the
miles an
20-inch
hour,
break.
but
Yeah.
had like a 20-inch
That's stupid.
movement. That's art, man. That's even cooler to me than throwing 105-mile-an-hour fastball. That's cool stuff.
Shohei Ohtani is the best baseball player. Paul Skeens is the best pitcher. He's filth. He's disgusting. He's gonna rot in Pittsburgh, and I hate that for him. But
All right.
it sucks. Like that franchise is a disaster. They do not know what the hell they're doing at all. They drafted correctly. They just have no idea what they're doing. It's bad.
Baseball is crazy because it seems like a team like the Pirates are always bad, and then
Yeah.
every other team's a coin flip every year. Like for a while, the Astros were locked in. The Dodgers are never a coin flip. They're always good, but even good teams are bad the next season. It's hard
Yeah.
to, as a layman,
No, you're right.
it's hard to keep up with.
You're 100% right.
Just look at the
It's-
biggest payrolls, and those are usually the teams competing for the MLB championship.
Which is weird though, because Arizona was a competitive team last year. Obviously,
2 years ago when they made the championship,
2
against
years-
my Rangers. Yeah.
yes, and they
My Rangers.
their payroll is only like $5 million more than the Pirates. It's absurd. It's whatever the Pirates are doing is not correct. It's not right. So fire whoever the GM is and figure out what you're gonna do, because you're wasting Paul Skeens just like the Angels waste Mike Trout. The exact same
And
way.
Otani. And Otani.
And Otani, correct. Again, it needs to be studied how criminal having both Otani and Trout on the same team were and like not winning a playoff series. It's borderline criminal.
I mean, just real fast, the Atlanta Braves are 8th in payroll in 2025, and they're 5-13. That's
Yeah.
one of those things that baseball has that I don't think other sports have.
Yeah, it's weird, man. And especially the baseball season's so long. I'm not saying anything that is surprising to anyone, but you go on these runs, and a lot of times teams do start slow and then pick up in the dog days of summer. But yeah, I agree. The Red Sox are much better, and they're probably third in payroll, third or fourth. And they're a joke. I want to curse, but I won't.
They're bad this year? I thought they were going to be good this year.
They started off well, and their pitching is just absolutely atrocious. It's really, really bad. It's bad. Okay, PGP MVP of the week time. Let's give our MVPs of the week. Let's start out in Cali with the boys. Matt and Pat. Who's your MVP? Matt, you can't say Pat. Pat, you can't say Matt. Go ahead.
Oh, they would have.
Uh-huh.
I'll do. I think this one's pretty obvious, and I don't know if anyone else was probably going to put this. But I'll do LVP, the University of Colorado, for retiring Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. I get a little bit more of Travis Hunter being a Heisman winner, but Shedeur Sanders went 13-12, didn't even win a bowl game. Whatever it is, his legacy at Colorado is only because of his father's. What are you doing? What are you doing? There's even better players at Colorado that don't even have their jersey hung up.
Cordell Stewart.
So unbelievable what they're doing. It's atrocious to college football. I give a lot of credit to Deion and what he's done to kind of reamp Colorado. But
We'll find out this year.
We will find out. We'll find out. But yeah, LVP to retiring their jerseys.
I think this year's going to be the year we'll see if the Deion experiment is really going to work. He doesn't have his son. He doesn't have Travis Hunter. Let's see what happens.
I saw a tweet from Oklahoma Twitter sphere superstar at Red Dirt Sport,
Oh, yeah.
who I really like. He's normally got some really good takes, and it brought up something I hadn't really thought about. This is ongoing NIL payments, because no one is ever going to be the number 2 jersey ever again. No one is ever going to be the number 12 jersey ever again. So those jerseys are only ever going to be printed with those names on the back, and those guys are going to get royalties off of that forever and ever and ever and ever. And I can easily see that be a lever that Deion Sanders pulled to make sure his guys were taken care of.
Sure. I'll give you that.
But
I'll
it bastardizes the entire thing.
It does.
It just does.
It does. It does. And like Matt said, I'll give you Travis Hunter. I'll give it to you. I won't push back on that. Like Heisman winners, like we give our Heisman winners, statues outside, and they didn't win national titles, but they won Heisman, so they get the respect they deserve.
Games in 2 years, though.
Exactly. You're right. The Shedeur thing is crazy. It's just icky. Okay, Pat, go ahead.
Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, I'm gonna do 2 because I thought of this one, but LVP, Zach Alley and West Virginia, 30 players in the portal. 30 players in the portal. So that's tough.
Let's go Mountaineers.
And second, MVP Deion Burks. He's creating a football camp at his high school in Michigan for the summer. Just a cool guy. I think he's just really great person, always seeming to give back and thankful for what he's got. So just love Deion Burks.
Stay healthy. Yep.
Love that. My MVP is the NBA, because NBA playoffs, arguably one of the best playoffs that there are. I love the NBA playoffs. I cannot get enough of them. I think they're great. I love that they're all 7-game series. I think it just, these guys basically, I don't want to say coast all year, but coast all year to get to these games and to win these games, to win 16 of them is the goal. And that's super duper cool. And to see guys at this level of talent just battling it out, I'm ecstatic. It's going to be must see TV. I love the NBA playoffs. I love it so much.
Rockets plus 155 over the Warriors. That's Mark's best bet of the week, baby.
Oh, I love that.
I think
love that. When does that series start? When does that series start?
Thursday?
Celtics don't start till Sunday, but they had the play-in game. They had the play-in guys. So the Magic.
Same here with the Thunder. Yep.
Thunder start on Sunday. Yeah, the Celtics are the afternoon.
Mavs or the Cavs. They're the first game. I think they play at 12.
Yeah, I lied totally. Warriors Rockets starts Sunday, not Thursday.
Okay.
Not enough time for the rest of the playing games to be played.
Yeah,
but go Rockets.
Let me rephrase. I don't give a darn about the play-in game, because those teams are never going to make a run, like ever. I don't care. They're not going to make a run. But the actual playoffs, that's what I care about. Play-in, I don't care. Those teams don't matter. The actual playoffs is what I care about.
Thunder up.
Yeah, I was gonna go
Thunder Rockets Western Conference Finals would feed families. Just
oh my god,
that's all.
would feed this family.
We would have to start. We'd have to start another battle, Mark.
We would. I'd be so excited.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't like where I landed on it, baby. So I was gonna go LVP, Nico, and the rest of the Iamaleavas. Am I close, Pat?
I think you're right.
Here's what I'm actually gonna do. I'm gonna go MVP college football for making the statement, right? Josh Heupel, absolute MVP for saying you're not going to hold my program over a barrel that way. The rest of college football for saying, nah, this is not something we want to taint our program with. Now, that number is going to fall from the reported 4 million down to somewhere in the 1 to 2 range. He's going to get what the market says he's worth, but it is very nice to see someone that's not Oklahoma play this game and play hardball with it. Say, no, you don't run everything here just because you're the 5-star quarterback. We're going to move on. We can move on, and you can go find somewhere else that will meet those demands. I don't think anyone's going to meet them. I do hope he finds a place to land. He's a talented kid, and you can tell that he's surrounded himself with not the best advice in the world, but the kid has to take some blame, just like the people around him has to take some blame, just like the system itself has to take some blame. And frankly, they overplayed their hand in a billion different ways here. And it's nice to see all of college football not just say, oh, we'll give you the 4. We'll give you the 4 million. Come on in here. Because Nico Iamaleava is not the difference between a loser and a winner. And we're not going to pay for someone that's not going to be the difference between a loser and a winner. MVP college football. Love it.
There's a Brandon Walker tweet from Barstool Sports that I found absolutely. I'm not a fan, but he had a good tweet, so I'll give him credit where it's due. If Nico and his family are actually leaving Tennessee because of UT's offense, it's a good decision. Last year's offense was slow and not explosive all. Of course, it was only that way because Tennessee had an inaccurate quarterback who couldn't read defenses, but whatever. That's funny to me.
It's all really hit the fan since like the last time we recorded, and so I do think we need to get Vol and Pat's take on this.
We do.
What all do you think about this, Patrick?
His camp is currently trying to spin the story that it was a Josh Heupel offense situation, which is why they wanted to leave the program. I'm sorry, Josh Heupel has a very succinct offensive style of play, and you knew exactly what it was 3 years.
He hasn't
ago when
changed
you
his
committed.
style. He hasn't changed his style since he coached. Yeah, you're
Thank
right.
you, Patrick.
So
Yeah.
like, you're not going to change his style. It's not about the style. It's always about the money,
Yeah.
and it's bullcrap. And you got caught with your tail in between your legs, and you're going to UCLA for less money with a worse coach and a worse program.
Yeah. I think I truly think it's one of the last times we'll hear from Nico. I would not be shocked if he fades into obscurity. No.
The only other thing is, I mean, I've been around sponsorship contracts in the past. The fact that he didn't have a clause to give him more money to pay him in the playoffs, or like give him more incentive money to if they like went to the championship, is odd to me. I feel like that's bad by his agent and the NIL fund to begin with. Like, you've got to start accounting for that kind of stuff up front, so these players don't even have the potential to hold out. But the fact that Nico was about to hold out of that game, I wish Josh Heupel put his foot down then, because then the kid's career would have been ruined.
So crazy.
And a light MVP to former Oklahoma Sooner Mikey Henderson joining Brennan Marion at Sacramento State. A robbery doesn't stop you, baby.
Hell yeah.
I don't care how many people you pistol whip. If you're good at
Nope.
ball, you're good at ball.
That ball don't lie.
Never
Ball
has.
don't lie. Love it. Okay, that's going to do it. Episode 171 is in the books. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. Find us on all of our social media at Program Guys with D on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. That's where you can find us. We'll see you next week. Patrick, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.
3, 2, 1.
There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being